Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's doing all right. As always, let's give a few seconds for everyone to get locked in, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good. All right, looks like everybody's in. So once again, good morning. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hopefully you guys, well, I know some of you saw that the definitions that I talked about last class have been posted. So some of you have shot them to me. I just haven't gotten to them yet. That's why you didn't get a response. So give me a, you know, hopefully I'll get to them by today. We're gonna put those grades in for you, and most definitely I'll let you know. But remember, your definitions aren't due until next Thursday. And if this is your first day, make sure you stay back so you can, if you have any questions or anything, make sure you're straight before you go into the weekend and you understand what's going on and how the class is going to be ran or operated. And that's if you have any questions. If you already know what you're doing, already know what needs to be done, then that's good to go as well. But just throwing that out there. So as I mentioned before, chapter 1 and chapter 2 are mainly definition based graphs. I think it has a little calculation in there, but nothing really major. Our first real lecture will really start next week when we get into chapter 3. We're gonna do a few things. Just talk about a few things today out of chapter 2, but nothing major. And then after that, see if you guys have any questions, and then we'll be ready to go into this weekend and really get rolling next week. All right. So any general questions before I go into the notes? Anybody good? Everybody straight? All right. So let's go ahead and knock
I
this.
actually do have a question.
All right. Talk to me.
Is
What you got?
is there a syllabus that I missed?
I have not, we talked about everything, that's going to be on it. I just haven't posted it because I have to repopulate this whole 155 shell. First of all, I didn't know I was going to be not teaching it this summer, so then I have to create a whole new shell. So I'm going to post it before the week is out. But like on the first day, we pretty much just ran through everything that would be in it. I just had to post it so you have it in writing. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. But I have sent you the documents, whether it be through email or if you see it in Canvas announcements. So let me say that as well. If this is your first day, let's say, and you didn't get all 4 of my initial emails, always check your Canvas announcements. That's why I do archive any emails that I've sent. And that's where you really will get the bulk of, or really what's really important as far as this course is concerned, how you'll be graded, how your attendance will be taken down, all that type of stuff. And those emails and those few documents that I sent already to you. If you never go look at the email, never look at the syllabus. You need to look at those things so you'll know how the class will be operated, how important my math lab is, and for you to do your attendance and stuff like that. So.
Okay, and one more question. Do the definitions get sent to you through Pearson?
No, through email.
Through
You
email. Okay,
yeah, just
perfect.
email it to me, and then what I will do is manually put in a grade in Pearson so that you have record that you did it. So.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, so this. All right, so in chapter 2, I know one thing that people have had a few questions, a little bit of confusion on was the distribution of data and the shapes. So the first thing that we come across, the first shape that we come across is the bell-shaped curve. And let me erase this. This wouldn't be there like that, but it's just a bell-shaped curve. It is symmetric about the mean, so that's why I had the line in the middle. The mean is your average. That's statistics way of representing your average, or what they call your average, which is your mean. Your mean would be in the middle. Why is my thing not working? Hold on, y'all. My pen is not working. Okay. Well, all right. Okay. Well, anyway, your mean would be in the middle. And then like I said, it's symmetric about the mean. So whatever goes on the left side of the mean also goes on the right side of the mean as well. So 50% of your data will be on the right side of your mean, 50% of your data will be on the left side of the mean, and it's called your normal distribution. So that's the one you want to remember because that's the one that we are going to lean on moving forward throughout the course. Your normal distribution shape. All right. Bell-shaped curve. The next one is your uniform distribution. And it's going to be similar to, coming up to, looking like a block or a rectangle. It's going to have the same level of distribution throughout the data. All right. And as always, as I mentioned before, if I scroll up too fast or you still copy, you want to take a picture, always feel free to let me know, unmute or type in the chat. So now the ones that a lot of people have a little bit of confusion on are skewed left and skewed right. When your data is considered skewed left or skewed right. And even in my own thoughts, when I hear the term skewed left, it seems like you're saying that the data or the bulk of the data is pushed left. But in actuality, it's the opposite. If your data is skewed left, that means the tail of your data is to the left and the bulk of your data is over here to the right. So if it's skewed left, the tail or the least amount of your data is going to be to the left and the bulk of your data would be to the right. And then the opposite is for when your data is skewed right, the tail of your data is to the right, but then the bulk of your data would actually be to the left. So if you just remember the tail is to the right, that means you're skewed right. If the tail is to the left, then your data is skewed left. Right. Any questions on either one of those four sketches of your data distribution?
I know I'm here a little late, but can you scroll it to the top so I can write the other two?
Nah, we don't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Give me a second. I want to make sure everybody got this one. Then I scroll up. Not a problem at all. Everybody good? Can I scroll up for her?
I have a question.
Yes.
So this is being recorded. We'll have access to this again, right? What you're writing down, or is it posted somewhere?
I record all of the lectures and then I will send them to you. At the end of the week, I convert them to YouTube videos and then I'll send you guys the link.
Okay, great. And then is this? Are we able to view what you're writing here somewhere else, or only through that recording?
I really don't have a way to convert this into that I know of, and I haven't looked into it. But I know when I send it to you in YouTube, you can always pause and and stop it, at your leisure. So I
Yeah.
can look into seeing if there's a way to convert this into a way that you guys can like actually, look at it yourself as a view notes. But when you talk about the YouTube videos, then you have the luxury, like I said, to pause, rewind, fast forward, and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, so I'll look into that and I'll let you know what I find out. Yeah, so I think somebody else. It's funny. I've had that question asked to me 2 or 3 times this week, but no one ever asked me about it before this. So I never even thought about looking into it. So I'll look into it and see what I can find out. Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. All right. So for the person who asked, because I don't have the names up, but there were the other two. Let me know when you're ready.
Excuse me, Professor Tucker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Jeremy. I'm sorry that I'm a little late. My question to you though is, what exactly are we going over at this present time?
This is just a few topics out of chapter 2.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah. So chapter 1, chapter 2, I don't do full lectures on because they're mainly definitions
Right.
and graphs. So I'm just doing a few things out of chapter 2 that I know people have, asked me questions about in the past. And then from there, I'll let you guys, go at it. And then if you have any questions, let's say this weekend you get into chapter 1, get into chapter 2, and there were some things that, calls for pause or brought it, made you have a question on, you most definitely will have the opportunity to ask those questions. Don't forget each session we meet, we got 2 hours. So you guys can ask whatever questions you want. I'm not going to talk for 2 hours, so. All right. Are we good to go up? I know we were coming back here for someone. All right, cool. All right. So the next one, stem leaf plot. So your leaf is going to be the rightmost digit of a data value. The stem is going to be all the values that precede the rightmost digit. So your stem leaf plot is just another way of graphing or giving a visual aid for a data set. I don't think it's really considered a graph, but it's just another visual aid for your data set. So if we look at the number 53, your leaf is going to be 3, your stem is going to be the 5. If we look at 127, your leaf will be the 7, and 12 will be your stem. So once again, your rightmost digit is your leaf, and everything that precedes that rightmost digit will be your stem. All right. So let's look at this data set. And this data set has no meaning to it. I just wrote down a bunch of numbers, but I'm going to use these numbers to create a stem leaf plot. So we got 41, 50, 56, 71, 72 twice, 75, 80 twice, 82, 83, 84, 88 twice, 89, 91, 92, 93, 100, and 101 twice, and then 112. So I picked out, or I identified which is my smallest value, which one is my largest value. That'll be 41 and 112. And so when in reference to our stems, somebody was out there, sounded like somebody was out there, sorry about that. When in reference our stems, we're going from the 40s to the 110s. All right, any questions on anything I've written or said so far?
I have a question regarding the first example of leaf and stem. The second one, 127. So can we choose just one as a leaf and the rest is stem, or you can choose the whole number 12?
Oh, no, the whole 12, because your leaf, oh, I still have my eraser on, sorry about that. Your leaf is always this last digit. And then whatever comes before that last digit will always be the stem. So if I have 1, 2, 7, 3, this is my leaf, and then the 127 would be my stem.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. All right, everybody good? All right, so let me erase this so we can walk through it. All right, so since this is going from the 40s to the 110s, that's how I will set up my stem. I will go from 4 to 11, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, and then that 11 represent the 110s. All right. From there, every leaf that I see or every digit that I see that's categorized in that stem, then I will write it there. So in other words, when I look at the 40s, I have 41. 50s, I have 50, 56. And also, I didn't point out, I wrote all my data values in order. You don't, you won't always get a data set with the answers in order. So, I mean, with your data in order. So, be mindful of that. I have no 60s. Now, what I will not do for the 60s is put a 0 here because that represents the number 60. If you have no digits or no leaves under that category, then you just leave it blank. So we got 71, 72, and you have to write 2 twice because 72 appears twice. And then 75, 80 appears twice, 83, too far, 84, 88 is twice, then 89, 91, 92, 93, 100, 101 appears twice, and then we have 112. All right, so before we go any further, questions on what we did there? Just making a note to myself, that's not for you guys. Just making a note to myself to say something to you before we close out. So everybody good with how we did that? Everybody straight? So, this way of representing our data is very similar to a bar graph. This is, could have done it this way. And so well, you may ask yourself, well, why would you do this in reference, instead of a bar graph? So anything like this, you would do in order to appeal to your audience. You should always, if you're trying to do a presentation, you want to sway some people in your direction or to be impressed by what you've done. You always want to do a research on your audience that you're going to be presenting to. So if you have people that are impressed or interested in numbers, then you would do something like this. It'd be easier to the eyes. It'd be something, ooh, okay. But if you have a group of people who are more, who would be more interested in pictures or colors, then you would do a bar graph and have each bar different color and stuff like that. So, when it comes to presentations, it's always about what your audience is made of, and then you would go from there. When it comes to statistics, because that's mainly what this book is about, statistics in this course. I know you heard the phrase, the numbers never lie, but what comes along with that is that they can mislead. You can use the same numbers and the same graphs and tweak them a little bit to say the complete opposite of what somebody else is saying. That's why, when you hear presidential elections and campaigns, where you say under this administration, this happened, but under this administration, this happened or whatever. If you really understand statistics, you really don't get, too emotionally involved when people just throw stuff out there like that, because that you can take the same numbers and say the complete opposite if you know how to manipulate numbers and manipulate statistical information. Case in point is that we'll get to a point where we'll start dealing with outliers. When you get to your definitions, you'll see outliers are very extreme values in comparison to your data set. So it can be very, very large or very, very small. They'll tell you to, I believe we do that in this class, but if not, this is part of statistics. They'll tell you to, if you have observations that are considered outliers, they'll tell you to run your data with the outliers, then run your data without the outliers. And whichever one fits your argument best, that's the one you use. So then basically what will happen is, let's say you do your presentation and you include the outliers, and somebody say, yeah, your data do this, that, and the third, but you have these outliers here. You say, well, they were a part of my observations, and they basically helped your case. But let's say if you do your data and you leave out the outliers, and you run your data and you do your presentation, and they say, well, what about these values over here? Weren't they a part of your observation? You'd say, yes, but they were outliers, so they weren't included. That's not what normally happens. So it's like you can use data a lot of different ways to really, just boost your argument. So just keep that in mind as we continue to go through. And then as you go throughout your life, hearing all of these stats and stuff, try not to get too emotionally involved with them, because you can take a lot of the same stats and a lot of the same data that got you those stats and run them the total opposite direction. All right. Let me see. That's all I have right here. Let me check anything. Before we close. Okay. So I did want to throw in, that's why I put this up here. I want to throw this out here. I do have an old book. I think I mentioned that the first day of class. I do have like the first edition. Most of it is the same, but if there's anything that I put up or don't put up and you have a question about, just ask. I mean, it's not a big deal. If I put something in my math lab that we didn't, let's say for some reason I missed, I don't know, anything can happen. But feel free to make sure you bring it to my attention and ask, or whatever the case may be. If it's something in chapter 1, like I mentioned to your classmate earlier, something in chapter 1 or chapter 2 that you have a question on. Just because we didn't do a full lecture on chapter 1, chapter 2 does not mean I'm not going to answer questions on them. So make sure you ask those questions, get your full understanding, so you can get the grade that you desire out of the course. Just want to throw this, show you guys this again to make sure we are all clear. While I'm going to my math lab, are there any questions? Everybody good?
Well,
I had a question. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. You can go first.
Okay, thank you. I had a question about where do I go whenever, because apparently the access code that I got from the Barnes & Noble was like the second edition and we need a different one. I don't know where to go to fix that.
Oh, you can just
Same thing
contact.
happened to me. All I did was contact Pearson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
That's
it
exactly
says,
what I
it says contact us, and then you do like a little side chat thing with one of the representatives, and they literally like just type you a new code, and then you put it in, and then it works.
Okay, thank you.
Well, see, that was my question. Which edition do we need? I missed the first day of class.
3, and the bookstore doesn't have 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Pearson
That's
will still
annoying.
make it work if you want to do it through the bookstore. You just have to do the chat with them.
Okay, so if
thank
I
you.
go through Pearson, I can just access it that way?
Yeah, if you go through Pearson, it just like works. But if you go through the bookstore, you have to ask them to change it to the 3rd edition in the little chat.
At the bookstore. Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, because see, I
Of
was lost.
course. I mean, I had statistics earlier this year, and that didn't even happen. And it was the same class, and it worked fine. So I don't know why it changed, but you know, that's how technology is.
Yeah. So but yeah, I think there was a little confusion initially, so I just went ahead and went with the newest edition because I talked to my department head and he said he was going to do the same thing. But I did know that if you guys purchased it, then there's nothing for them to give you guys a code. So I knew that wasn't going to be a big deal. But yep, any other questions? So like she mentioned, she already been through the process. If you purchase a code through Barnes and Noble, all you have to do is contact customer support through I was about to say through St. Leo, through Pearson, and they'll go ahead and switch that out for you. Or don't forget, you do have the option of just purchasing the access through Pearson itself. But you only can do that if you're not using financial aid. If you're using your own money, you can do that. But if you have to use financial aid, then you have to go to Barnes and Noble bookstore. All right. Was there something else? Everybody good? All right. So right here, remember last class I hadn't had these up. Shot you that email. What's today? Thursday. I think it was Tuesday when I shot the email. Anyway, here are your definitions. If you click on it, they'll pop up. You can just hit download if you want to. Let me see. Let you? No, they won't let you. Yeah, or you can copy and paste, whichever way you want to do it. And then chapter 2 definitions are right here.
Because that was my question to you, Professor. When I was going to fill out my definitions for chapter 1 and 2, I this is my first time using this type of the math lab, so I'm not really familiar with it. But normally, you have access to like click on start assignment and do it that way. So would I like copying and pasting to Microsoft Word and they email it to you, or how do I submit it?
It's up to you. Like I said, if you hit download right here, you download the whole document. I think you should be able to type on it. But yeah, if not, then yeah, you can copy and paste. Just copy it and paste it in a Word document. Or if you just want to write it, I know I've had people that just like to write stuff out. They wrote in their notebook and then took pictures of what they wrote in their notebook and emailed it to me.
Emailed it. Okay,
Yep.
yes, sir.
Yep. So whatever way, works, it's fine with me.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. But most definitely, and I'll say this too, most definitely you guys will be emailing this. No matter what way you do it, you will be emailing it to me, not trying to send it to, there's no way to submit this through my math lab. But what happens is after you email it to me, I'll send you a response back, letting you know that I received it. And then at some point, I will put in a grade manually in my math lab for it. All right. So I say, am I able to go over the homework questions? Yeah, the way I normally handle homework, I give you guys a chance to get in there and try them out. And then, next class or class, whenever after you've done that, you just ask me a question. So yeah. All right. Anything else? Anybody else on anything? Anything? We all straight. And remember, we said this is going to be due. I'm going to try to get this to me by next Thursday. Should be June 3rd. If you have any issues, of course, keep lines of communications open. You're not going to fail the class if you don't get to me by June 3rd. That's just the date that we're looking for it. But if you have, something come up, you got to talk to me. Can't help you out, help me help you, You sure how you get to, yep. So you'll get to the homework right here. Click on assignments. It's right above your chapter 1 definitions. So we have right now 4 sections posted, chapter 1s. Before the day is out, plan on putting up chapter 2 and go from there. The first test will be on chapter 1 and chapter 2. And as far as your due dates are concerned, when you look at whatever I put in my math lab, it's going to have this date of 8/8, August 8th. That's going to be the last day that you can submit anything. So I give you guys this luxury of being able to move in and out of your assignments. Also, is the luxury of I see your hand, Ms. Blow. I'll get to you in a second. It gives you the luxury of if you were to get behind, you can get caught up without having to ask me for an extension. But what you don't want to do is wait until August 1st to start working. You know what I mean? So make sure you're progressively doing this work as we progress throughout the course. So if you just need a soft due date on this chapter 1, chapter 2 stuff, because I'm going to post your tests from chapter 1, chapter 2 along with this. Every test is not going to be just, do it on your own, but your first test will be. So, give you a solid foundation moving forward. I would say a soft due date, June 13th. You want to be completely done with chapter 1, chapter 2 stuff, because remember, as we progress throughout the course, we're adding new sections, new material. So you don't want to be sitting in chapter 1 and chapter 2 for a long time, because all this stuff can pile on top of you. Miss Blow, your hand was up?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to be out of town, and I remember you mentioning that just next week, so I'm going to miss the next 2 classes.
Mhm.
And I remember you mentioning that we needed to or just make sure that we have timestamps on the math lab.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to go over how you were mentioning saving something. So how does that work? Because I did a homework section, a couple homework sections. Does that count as being active?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So when you go in there, and this, I know you just said you done homework, so you pretty much already know how to do it then. But yeah, when you go in your homework, it looks like this. When you go in here, hit save, that will pretty much say that. When you go in it, period, it lets me know. It lets me know how long you guys been in there, when was the
Okay.
last time you were active, and all the stuff like that. But
Yeah.
hitting save most definitely will just close out that session and ensures
Okay.
that that there's a date and time stamp on it. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep, not a problem. And even if you caught up, and let's just say and I haven't posted anything new yet, if you just go into an old assignment and just hit save and come on out, still the same thing.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Yep, not a problem. All right, so I see 2 people with hands raised. I don't know who went first though. I don't know who was first. So whoever want to go ahead and jump on. Nobody? Nobody?
I wanted to ask you, what do you like recommend, like how many hours we should spend like weekly towards our assignments so that we don't get like, as you said before, like delay it too far to the point where it's tough now.
Right. I don't know if I can put a real time on it because it's going to vary because according to the section that we're in, and so in the chapter that we're in, because each chapter is not equally as hard. So like if you look at this first section, 1.1 is only three questions, and then you'll be done. Then here we got 9 questions, 6 questions. So when you look at chapter 1, it's not that content heavy. So when you look at chapter 1 and chapter 2, you probably can get away with knocking out chapter 1 and chapter 2 really, within a couple of days if you really wanted to grind and knock it out. Really, you might be able to do it in one day if you're really just sitting in front of a basketball game or something, you just doing it. But all chapters aren't going to be like that because some chapters you will have to put some thought into. And I would say the way you want to gauge yourself is to make sure you are current with the lecture. So we're at 3.5 and you're still in chapter 2, you want to kind of pick up the pace because eventually we're going to be in chapter 4 and you don't want to still, just be getting in chapter 3 when we're turning the corner and going into chapter 4. I would kind of say gauge yourself according to the lectures and where we are. And so you guys know that come next class, we're going to start chapter 3. So you do want to go ahead and get into my math lab and start working on it. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, okay. I see another hand raised. What you got?
Professor, I'm sorry
Yes.
if you answered this already, but you know how you said everything, it's like technically you're giving us kind of like a leeway for everything due until like August, right? But on the syllabus, do you have it to like where after every kind of like module, like where we should be at kind of, like a date on like when everything we should kind of start, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't.
No, it's fine. So basically what you can do if that's something like you need markers, something like that, you can always ask me. The way, because like it's kind of hard for me to put, I know a lot of teachers do that. I don't like to do it because when I put a date out there, but then I decide to pull back because we need, the class need reinforcement. Like we need to review this. Like we don't need to keep going because, now I got to pull all those dates back. You know what I mean? So what I like to do is to really gauge where you guys should be as we progress throughout the course. So let's say we get ready to close out chapter 3. Just like I told you, you guys really should be done with chapter 2 no later than June 13th. You know what I mean? I can start putting dates out there as we get closer to closing out chapters just to help you keep on track. So so if you want that from me, just shoot me a reminder. Hey, Mr. Tucker, when do you think we should? And I don't mind reminders because I got a lot of stuff going on. I got a whole bunch of emails to get caught up on right now because I just got flooded with a whole bunch of emails. So I don't mind reminders or just you say, hey, Mr. Tucker, when do you think we should be done with chapter 3 stuff? And I most definitely can put a date out there for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. All right, I think I saw
I'm
another
going
hand.
to constantly be asking like if this is like a big chapter or a small chapter, just so I know what to expect. So
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that was my question. If you could just, are there any chapters that stand out that like classes in the past like generally have a like hard time with or that are more challenging? Just like what to look for and what to kind of put our energy into?
I think, now I'll say this, make sure you listen to me when I tell you these shortcuts, right? So in other words, if I say use an app like easycalculation.com, and then you decide to do it by hand, like I can't help you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, like if I
Okay.
tell you, and I'm not saying you, but I'm just telling you, this is what things that have happened in the past. I've actually told the class, hey, use an app, a website. You're not held responsible for the process. And then I'll have somebody say, yeah, I've really been struggling on chapter 4 because, the formula is really kicking my butt. I'm like, but I told you not to use the formula. Like, you know what I mean? So that type of stuff could really hold you up if you're not really holding on to it. Because so 3 and 4, if you hold true to the processes, you should be fine. Or if you hold true to the idea, like I said, using something like easycalculation.com, you should be fine. 5 will probably be where got to start putting the thinking cap on. Yep. So I would say
All right,
probably
thank you.
5. Yeah, around 5. Now 4, 3. Now 3 is okay, but 4, if you're not careful, then it might can get you. But really, it's 5 is when it starts to get a little heavy. All right, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, hand raised.
I'm a female, but
Oh, I apologize. Dominique can go either way. My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't see a picture or anything.
Can you go over question 1 for the homework 1.4?
Oh, and 1.4. Let me see.
I mean, I know it's simple, but it kind of got me a little thinking.
I don't even know what to say. I'm trying to get there. Survey is done, man's ringer. All right, so I'll make sure we're looking at the same one. Hold up. Man, get out of my way. Get out. All right, hold on. Trying to scroll. There we go. Yeah, you got me feeling all bad because I said it, sir. Is this the way you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it says a survey done of men's and women's hands to see if the ring finger appeared longer than the index finger or not. Yes means the ring finger is longer. No means the ring finger appears shorter or the same length. Students in the survey were not told the theory, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So what percentage of men said yes? So we have a total number of 48 men. Hold up. And how many decimal places type of integer? Rounded to 1 decimal place. Let's see if this is what they want. 79.1. That's not it. So integer rounded decimal to 1 decimal place as needed. So we have 48 men. Yep, 48 men because it's 48 altogether. Percentage of men said yes. 38.
I know how to solve it in an easy way. I don't know if it's gonna help. I can show it to her.
Sure.
So what I do, I count the total of men, which is, as you said, it's 48. That means 48 give us 100% of all men that we have. It's the rule of 3. And then they are asking just about 38. So 38 that said yes, give us X, unknown. And then you do the rule of 3, which is 38 multiply 100 divided by 48. And they give you 79.1, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I just put 79.1 and you said it was wrong. Yeah, I thought that was the answer.
My math lab I've used it for like multiple classes. It's really weird and super picky if you don't write exactly how they want.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Then would you do 79.2?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to say, because you have to round to the
So
closest.
it was all of what y'all was saying. Like she said, it was picky. I did 1 instead of 2, and it was, yeah, so I overlooked that. So basically what we did there, took a village to get this answer right. 38 plus 10 is 48. So it's a total of 48 men. And then I did 38 over the 48. And that gave me 79.2 when you rounded. So Ms. Dominique, it says then what percentage of women said yes. So you do the same thing for women. So 25 plus 10 is 35 women altogether. Then you do 25 over 35. And that's going to be 71.4. Yep. So just make sure you round correctly and then you should be good. What percentage of the people who said yes were men? So now this time it says what percentage of the people. So you have to add up all of the people that you have. So we got 38 plus 25 plus 10 and 10, so it's plus 20. So we have 83 people altogether. So that's 38 divided by 83. So it should be 45.8. Yep. Here we go again. All right, let me make sure I got my numbers right. 38. What percentage of people who said yes were men? Yeah, should be. So 38 plus 25, 20. So that part is right. Then I got 38 divided by 83, 45. I think I put that. Oh, table of men who said yes. Then divide by the number of men. Right, that's what I said. Let's see, what am I missing? What am I missing? Percentage of the people who said yes were men. All right, let's just
So,
see. Give me.
so would we add all those together?
Yeah, that's what I did.
I think you just
Yeah,
add
that's it.
whoever said yes.
All right, so let's see if she's right. Um, that might be the missing piece that I wasn't looking at. So 63, you got 38 divided by 63. Yep, so she was right. The people who said, percentage of the people who said yes. So reading is fundamental, y'all. I left off that one piece right there of the people who said yes. So that was that's your bottom number. So that means you add up the 38 and the 25.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I read it and just looked at it and said what percentage of the people, and I didn't say who said yes. So I was looking at all of the people, but really, like she mentioned, it was the people who said yes that we were looking at. So that was our bottom number, 38 and 25. All right. So then it says if a large group of 300 men had the same rate of responses as men in the sample, how many men of the 300 would say yes? It's a large group.
So we'll just take 38 divided by 300.
Well, no, we would take the percentage of men. So if a large group of 300 men had the same rate. So remember, we had this percentage right here.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
so we take that decimal value of 0.792, multiply that times 300.
Yeah.
And round to the nearest whole number. So fingers crossed, it should be 238. Yeah. And so notice it said round to the nearest whole number. So the number I got when I took that 0.792 multiplied to 300, I got 237.6. But it said round to the nearest whole number, so that's why we had to do 238. So make sure you guys paying attention to, like I said, reading is fundamental. It's easy to miss one of these little details and get the problem wrong. So you most definitely want to pay attention to it.
Hi, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm trying to get in contact with the Pearson support, and every time I get to the page where it says contact support, at the bottom it keeps saying error for site owner, invalid domain for site key. I don't know what.
That happened to me, but I just went back and forth a bunch of times and then it finally worked. That's what happened to me.
So, Ms. Walton, so you didn't call them. You contacted them through like technology, email or whatever, something like that?
Yeah, you just do the little text box that's just like contact us. And then I was getting the same message, but I went back and forth a couple of times and then it let me.
Okay. So it might just be a glitch in their in the system right now.
If it doesn't work after like 5 times, I'm not sure.
Yeah, shoot me an email on that so I can forward that email to the representative, the Math Lab representative, that you can't get in contact with somebody, and then we can handle it from there. So if you don't get in, like she said, try about 4 or 5. You know, she said it worked about 4 or 5 times after she did it. So if it don't work for you, shoot me an email letting me know that that's what happened, telling me, you know, the error message that you're getting, and then I will forward that to the rep that we are in contact with.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Miss Dominique, I know you asked about this question. Was that good to go? Is that straight?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, not a problem. And I apologize once again. Like I said, I wasn't looking at any pictures or anything, so all I saw was a name. So yeah. All right. Anything else? Anybody else before we close out? Everybody good? Everybody straight? All right. So like I said, you guys, you know what we have to do. We're looking at chapter 1, chapter 2 stuff will be posted before the day is out, and you can get to that as well. And we'll be looking to get into chapter 3 come Tuesday. So you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, and I will see you next week.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank
Thank you. Have a nice
you.
Thank
day.
you.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
Have
Y'all
a
take
great
care.
weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I have a quick question, Professor, really
Yes.
quickly. I think you probably answered it, but maybe I missed. Hold on, Trinity. Is it possible to get the recording from last class? Because I was not here.
Yeah, I'm gonna send those out. What I do is I record every class, and then I convert them to YouTube videos, and then I send everybody the link.
Okay, because that's where we get most of our definitions from, right? We're not like Googling anything.
Oh no,
and
no,
like
you no. Well, you don't have to Google it most definitely, but no, you get your. Let me go back. Let me share this.
like the answers for the definition.
Yeah. So you can go to e-text content. Go to chapter 1. Chapter opener. Just waiting for it to load up.
Oh wow, I already didn't even know about that section.
Yeah. So this is an ebook. So this is why you don't have to purchase the hard copy of the book, because you get an e-copy. And so here go the first one. Statistics is right here. All of them are in order. So they're going to be bolded, like variation, data, all of them are in order. So you'll see them bolded, and then you just get the answers. It's not even a scavenger hunt. It's just you going in order and then just getting familiar with the terminology.
Oh wow, thank you. That's super easy. I would have known that. Is there anything else really like everything's important, but like is there any main key details that I missed on the first day?
Not really. I mean that, the definitions, and those are due by next Thursday. You do want to get into my math lab and start on your assignments, because you do have assignments out of chapter 1 and 2 as well. Show that, right here in the assignments. I've only posted chapter 1 because I'm still building out the shell. Only posted chapter 1, but then sometime today I'll post chapter 2's assignments as well, and then your first test. And I think you heard me about the due dates. I don't know if you were in here for.
Yes, I did. I just didn't want to hold up class and ask my question during class. That's all.
Yeah. So I don't think you missed much. Oh, and like your classmate mentioned, she brought up attendance. If you miss a class Zoom, that's fine. Just make sure that, like you said, review the lecture. Well, if you need it, I ain't saying you got to do it, but if you need it. But then when it comes to your homework, the way I can solidify your attendance, if I do have to give a report on attendance, because there are a lot of people still in the government money, and now they want us to report people not coming to class, right? So you can you can get a date stamp or time stamp on your activity by going into your assignments, doing work, and then that just proves that you've been coming to class. And so, yep.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate
Not a
that.
problem.
You have a good day.
Thanks. You do the same. Okay. All right. Anybody else before I close out? Everybody good? All right. You guys have a good one. Be safe. Take care.